Hello, everybody, and welcome to the stream. This is our October tarot stream on this Saturday afternoon for me. I've got the Octopunk deck right here, and look, I've got spoopy nails to match. I've also got spoopy music to match. Let's see if y'all can hear this. It's pretty low. It's a little quiet, whimsical Halloween music. Let's turn it up a little. Let's see if y'all can hear that. It's probably gonna be really faint in the background. That's okay. I just want a little something to get me jazzed. Well, I'm glad to see that y'all vibing. As usual with the tarot streams, what I'm gonna do is have a special guest as my first reading, somebody I actually know, and then I'll be doing a giveaway in the stream chat. Typically with those Twitch, tarot streams, we had an engine that did our stream chat for us, or our stream chat giveaway for us. We're probably gonna do it more analog today, but we'll see. Yes, Vinla, the Octopunk death. This is made by Lone Lion. All of the art is related to things that I like or things that I have put in my movies. So like the moon is the Death Star. This is Harper's Island. This is one of my favorite horror. The entire Pinnacles deck is horror films. But then you got like Read 900 for the lovers. All the art, as I said, was done by Lone Lion. And this was an anniversary gift from my spouse, Austin. I got Mothra. There's a whole kaiju suit. All the cups are kaiju. It's great. And this is what I typically use to do my readings. It's a very special deck. They say that, the rumor with tarot is that if your deck is gifted, that it's magic. It has to be gifted in order to be really powerful. You can buy your own deck too, that's fine. I have a Cthulhu deck here. Oh no! It's clearly haunted! I used my Cthulhu deck, my Lovecraft deck, last week when I did the Wretched, because I actually use tarot decks a lot in RPGs, because a lot of RPGs, tabletop RPGs, use decks of cards, or even tarot decks in some cases. But this one's fun. Like I said, very haunted, clearly. But there's a lot of, creepy Lovecraftian, Dagon and Shoggoths and Cthulhu and all sorts of stuff. But that's not gonna be the one that I use today. Like I said, the Octopunk deck is where it's at, especially when it comes to reading for other people, because I really like to use this deck, and I also really am getting to know what all of the cards mean. I've been studying. If you follow me on Instagram, it's supposed to be once daily, but it's lucky if I get it three times a week. I will post the next in line of the card that I'm studying for that day. I dedicate a day to each card, and try to really pick it apart and figure out why, what does the design say about the card. Are there colors? Are there symbols? Are there, the suits and the number? What about the card's art can kind of inform me about what the meaning of the card is. And right now I'm on the Major Arcana still. And it's really helpful because it allows me to get away from using apps to try to tell me what the cards mean, and allows me to read a little more intuitively, because if I am really familiar with the cards, then I'll know what the interpretations are a little bit more, and then, because everybody kind of has their own interpretation of what things mean, and context is everything, right? Sometimes you can get the Tower and a warning card, but you can also get the Tower and an advice card, or a love reading, or other things. So every reading is going to be different. It's going to tell you something different. Today's special guest, not with me live, but with me in the chat, is my mother, Octomom, Janet Iantuana, that's her name. And basically, Mom, pay attention, because I'm going to ask you to do something for me in a second. I'm going to ask you to tell me how to do this deck. I'm shuffling. I'm going to do a monthly spread. I always do that on the stream. For the month ahead. And we're almost at the end of October, so we can say that this is for November. Alright. We've got left, middle, and right. Collecting tarot cards is really cool, Simona. I'm not inclined to do it because I'm always going to use this one. But if professional readers have many decks, and also do different decks for different people. All right, Mom, tell me what goes where. Okay, she says. I don't know how much of a delay. It's not probably like a 20-second delay. Yes, it is good to see you, Simona. I agree, Neb. Good to see Jay as well. And Ian. And Theo. And Ina. And Connor. And Kim. And Greg. Lots of people in the chat today. Mama Octopunk. That's a new one. Where's my music? Come on, Nintendo. Where are we at? Oh, wait, what? That was the end of it? Oh, let's go back to the beginning of the playlist. Because I was playing this in something else, that's why. Middle on the left and then left on the right. Middle on the left and then left on the right. Okay. Hopefully that music isn't too loud. I just cranked it a little. It was very quiet on my last stream. Alright, so let's draw. I'm still not at the point where I can do reversed. I'm learning. Part of my learning them every day is trying to learn the reversed. But I'm not there yet. I'm still making my way through the major arcana, so definitely not prepared for that. And then we're gonna pull this bottom one too, because that's gonna be important later. Okay. Huh. That's not good. That's good. Some of these are in strange places. Hi, Austin! We have a lot of positive cards here, but they're in weird spaces. I'll say that. Like, Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Wands, Ten of Cups, the Star, the Empress, these are all really positive. But a lot of them are in, like, things to avoid or challenges, so we'll look at that. I might actually whip out some of my newer resources for some of these, because I've recently found, I've been using the Galaxy Tarot app to tell me, hold on, let me turn this music down for me a little. It's a little loud for me. Okay. I've been using the Galaxy Tarot app traditionally to tell me what the cards mean, but it's a little limited, and especially when it comes to like weird slots and like Queen, King, page cards. There's this site called like Divination Today, and there's a site called Labyrinthos. Both of them are pretty good. Labyrinthos is really good for breaking down what cards mean specifically in a context. So like, if you're doing a love reading or career reading, it can filter the card through that context. And then the Divination Today site's really good for specific slots. Like, it'll tell you straight up, like, if it comes as an obstacle slot, if it comes as a future slot, if it comes as a, yes or no question slot, like, what do those mean? So, yeah, I might be pulling from a few different resources. I will say the Ten of Swords is not a very positive card. This is in your current self, Mom. So your current self is Ten of Swords. This is the rock bottom card. It's a really low point emotionally. Let me bring up my resources just to make sure I'm giving you the most concrete reading. Because I know it's definitely, like, things are as bad as they've been. You've been, like, tired, you've been withdrawn, you've kind of wanted to give up. Let's see, Ten of Swords. It's similar to the Tower, but it is a little bit different. This is rock bottom, enough is enough, there's nowhere to go but up. This card can represent someone who has a great amount of self-pity, who feels like a martyr, like they've made huge sacrifices for others and received nothing in return. But ask yourself what you gain by feeling like this. Is feeling sorry for yourself helping you move forward? Get on with life, take the lessons you've learned, and don't make the same mistakes again. So that is the current self. So we're starting this reading a little grim. I think that that pretty much speaks for itself. That one, that one I don't need to dive too deeply into. I just went to Disney with Mom. I felt like she was okay, but our Disney trip was a little off. Like, it was kind of a bad, post-Disney depression. Yeah, I mean, that's true. It was also, they didn't have fast passes. There was a lot of weird things about that Disney trip. It was pretty good though. But I can see the post-Disney depression. Monthly theme is the Two of Pentacles. Two usually means choices, or it means unions. Sometimes it can be both. So let's see what this is. And Pentacles usually implies wealth. So there might be some sort of money-making decision, or there might be some sort of partnership that will be fruitful. I can't quite remember. Two of Pentacles. Ah! This is the 1-2 that is neither of those things. Still working on learning them, like I said. Two of Pentacles is about multitasking. When this card appears, you have a lot to deal with, and you deal with it with ease and grace. I'm going to have some interesting things to try to interpret when I do this suit, when I'm breaking down my card meanings and trying to figure out, like, okay, what can give me the hint next time that Tucker and Dale versus Evil means multitasking? Other than, these children keep killing themselves all over my property. If you haven't seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil, it's one of the best lines ever said in a horror movie. But, you know, nimble and multitasking. So the traditional, the Rider-Waite, you know, card, if I can get that to show. Come on. I guess I can't get auto exposure, but it's a juggler. It's a juggler. It's very obvious in the traditional design. But anyway, monthly theme, multitasking and nimble movement. When this card appears, you have a lot to deal with. And like a juggler in life, sometimes we have to keep more than one ball in the air. Though we might drop the ball sometimes, if we can keep at it, we will become wiser and stronger. Or you may be doing a lot of busy work and ignoring the overwhelming emotions that you're feeling, or in order to feel like you have control over an uncontrollable situation. This card could be telling you to follow the money. You might need to travel or move house in order to take advantage of material opportunities. I know you have no intention of moving. But that could also mean, like, changing jobs, which is potentially a thing that I know that you're sort of dealing with. In general, this is just about multitasking, which, I mean, for a monthly theme, that's pretty common for my mother. She multitasks a lot and has a lot of different things she's involved in. So this is just going to be kind of a busy month. A month where there's either going to be a lot of busy work that's done to sort of avoid the feelings that the Ten of Swords are bringing up, those sort of feelings of rock bottom and hopelessness, or it's just going to be busy from a necessity standpoint. I advocate everybody getting their own tarot deck. I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but the wrap gifts that I gave everybody on Detroit Reawakening were tarot card decks. So basically I found not a custom deck for everybody, but I bought every person on the cast and crew a deck that I thought fit them. So like the one that I got Michael Smallwood was a My Hero Academia deck. The one that I got Maximilian was a cat. It was all cats. The one I got Chris was a Steven Universe deck. So like, and Austin's was Legend of Zelda. So like every person got a themed tarot deck that I thought represented something that they really like or that really connected to. And I think I'm going to do that for like every production going forward. It was a really fun exercise in finding things that fit every person. And even the people that I didn't really know before Detroit Reawakening, like Dries Vandenberg, who is our wonderful sound person, and Kyle Pulley, who is our assistant camera. I think I got Dries like a musician's oracle deck because he's a musician, and then I got Kyle just like a movies one because, you know, obviously he loves movies, and both of them were overjoyed. I was shocked. Both of them were like, oh my god, this is so cool. I was gonna buy myself a tarot deck. These are just like these, you know, typical like, you know, crew guys, whatever, like you'd never expect them to be into tarot, and they both thought it was the coolest thing. So that was really fun to be able to see them light up when I gave them their wrap gifts. But yeah, I really enjoy giving them, and I think that it's kind of gonna be my go-to gift for people because it's really unique and personalized, although I guess you can only do them once. All right, so the star. Let me just like refresh my brain. So we have key goal, obstacle, and accomplishment. The key goal is the star card. It's a major arcana. You actually have quite a lot of major arcana. You got 3 of them: the Wheel of Fortune, the Empress, and the Star. And let's see, I didn't address this before, but we've got Pentacles, 2 Pentacles, 2 Swords, a wands, and a cup. So we kind of a little bit of everything. So there's not an overwhelming suit. You know, it's pretty balanced, which kind of goes with the whole multitasking thing, actually. Every time I see suits be pretty balanced in a reading, I take that as a symbol of balance. I take it as a symbol of trying to get all the things in your life in order and balanced, and that things will be pretty even. It's not like you're going to have, like, a really emotional month or a really wealthy month or a really creative month. It's just kind of a little bit of everything. But that's just my interpretation. Theo says, if I had a tarot deck, it would be screenshots of vines. Funny enough, the one that I almost got JJ was a memes tarot deck, but I didn't like the memes on it. I didn't recognize any of them, but maybe I'm old. I ended up getting JJ... Oh my god, a Pride deck. It was Pride. Tasha was the one that got Japanese mythology. JJ's lovely girlfriend, who was our fiance, really, who was our makeup artist. So, the star. The star is a positive card. So this is the key goal for the month. The star is like hope and creativity, peace, renewal. It's just after the destruction of the tower, the star is like, you know, the grass is greener, the new morning. And I think, like I said, Ten of Swords is really similar to the tower. So if the Ten of Swords is your current self and the star is the key goal, it's like trying to get over the rock bottom. The goal is to try to see the light at the end of the tunnel and to get there. It's optimism for a fresh start. When the star shows up, have trust in the constantly changing nature of the universe. After the darkest hour comes the dawn of a new day. You are on a healing path. Be sure to nurture both the physical and spiritual aspects of your life. Do what is practically required, while at the same time visualizing an ideal future. In a creative venture, the star can be a sign of success. The card can also indicate astrology and other divine arts. Pay attention to the cosmos while you're getting a tarot reading, so that's a pretty good step forward into that key goal. So this makes total sense. Obviously, Ten of Swords, kind of downtrodden, kind of, you know, tired, ready for this to be over, whatever it is. The star is like, okay, I'm ready to be on the other side of this. I'm hopeful for tomorrow. The obstacle is the Ace of Wands, and this might be one that I have to dig into the Divination Today meanings of, because this is a strange card to be in the obstacle slot. Aces are about opportunity, and Wands are about creativity, so I'm pretty sure the Ace of Wands is like a new creative project. Let me look into this a little bit more deeper on Galaxy Tarot. The Ace of Wands is a seed to be nurtured. This is a bright new idea, a burst of creative energy, a source of inspiration. Excitement, enthusiasm, and energy for something new are available. Now is your chance to be courageous. The card can also indicate new life, or passion, new relationships, new opportunities in a career, in order to be creative. But with all aces, it's an opportunity, but it has to be fostered. It's not just gonna drop into your lap. You actually have to take action and take steps to do it. So this is the obstacle for the month. And, you know, I think the obvious reading is like, all right, there's a new opportunity, but the obstacle is, of course, doing something about it and actually taking initiative. And new creative projects can be challenging. I know it better than anyone that, you know, a new creative project and pulling the things together to make that happen can be an enthusiastic and exciting time, but also can be a very busy and very stressful time. So maybe the obstacle will be getting through that. But let me look it up on Divination Today and see if there's a little bit more information about this, because it is still a rather positive card, and it being in an obstacle slot is a little nuance. Simona asked, does astrology have anything to do with tarot? Yes. Actually, all of the cards have, or all of the zodiac have a card that represents them. For example, I think the Judgment card is Libra. The Star card is Aquarius. I can't remember any of the others. The Strength card is Leo, because it's got a lion on it. So a lot of the major arcana are tied to the zodiac. And actually, all of these other cards have zodiac associations as well. I do not remember them offhand, but I know that, like, I think water signs are cups, air signs are swords, And then I think Pentacles are... I can't remember. That's another thing that I'm in the process of learning. But all the, like, water signs have a suit, air signs have a suit, and then, like the 3, 4, and 5 will be like Aquarius, the 5, 6, and 7 will be Pisces, and like onward. So there's like 4 or 5 cards for every zodiac. And I actually do, when I do my monthly readings, I actually do find the zodiac associations for all the cards, and I make a note of them, so that if I have like an overwhelming amount of energy in one sign or one type of sign, it kind of is a hint that like be like that aspect. Or sometimes if it's like, hey, there's a person in your life that's gonna come in and do something, or if it's like a love reading or a relationship reading, tying in the sign can kind of give you a hint to like what the sign of the person will be. So yeah, I think that's it's relevant. A lot of people don't link the two of them. There's a lot of people who do like astrology and do birth charts and that sort of thing who don't mess with tarot. There's a lot of tarot people who don't care about astrology. I like them both, so I kind of combine both of them. At least for myself. I'm not ready to really do it for other people yet, because I just don't I just don't like really know it enough offhand, and I'm like, I have all my books where I'm like making notes of things, but I really have to consult my reference material. Capricorn is the devil. Okay, so here's the thing, Theo. The devil card is not a bad card. It's about indulgences. It can mean that you need to loosen up and have fun, which is what everybody needs to tell Capricorns all the time. I can say that I have a selenium in Capricorn, which means that I have more than 4 planets in my chart in Capricorn. I think I have 5 Capricorn placements, which is not in my main 3, but it's like a very undercover thing in me. Also, side note, totally convinced my dad's a Capricorn rising. Really wish I knew what time he was born, because his other chart makes no freaking sense. He's a Libra sun and a Cancer moon, and he's the most like ex-military analytical dude. Makes no sense. He's got to be a Capricorn rising, I'm convinced. I knew my mom was a Leo moon. I guessed it, and I looked it up and was like, ha! I knew it. Her being a Sagittarius sun is also pretty on point. All right, so Ace of Wands as far as like a negative outcome. When the Ace of Wands appears in a negative weakness or obstacle, this means that you are a thrill seeker, and you have to be mindful of the fact that you're only at the beginning and nowhere near the end. Now, my mom's not exactly a thrill seeker, but I can see where this is going. In some cases, the Ace of Wands, that also isn't really relevant because that's about relationships. Here we go. Negative spread position with a newly established friendship or hobby is not good for you. Your new pursuit may seem enjoyable now, but it's not to say you will feel that way in the future. Interesting. So what I'm getting is that don't put the cart before the horse. Rushing into things that you feel really excited about, but maybe aren't the right path right now. So I guess that in terms of creative opportunity, maybe the opportunity isn't the right one. Maybe the opportunity is too good to be true. Maybe the opportunity is good, but just like, don't start writing checks your butt can't cash until you have it a little bit more developed. So, in terms of like a new project, a new work opportunity, a new creative venture, just take it a little bit slow. I think as far as the obstacle goes, like take it a little bit slow and make sure that you're being patient with yourself. And really, like, because we're starting with the 10 of Swords and we want to get to the star, I mean, that's a long journey. Be a little patient as you're on that journey. And then your accomplishment is the 10 of Cups. This is actually very good. It's very complementary to the star, because your goal is optimism and renewal and a new day and the sunrise after the dark. The 10 of Cups is basically a celebration, accomplishment of reaching your goals, rainbow, happy kaiju, all that sort of stuff. More specifically, it's all about celebration. It's all about, like, the completion of a stage. Also grateful and joyous family. You have enough happiness to share with those around you. Take this time to be grateful for the love and happiness you have in your life. yeah, shared love, blessings, peace, family, happy home. It's going to be a positive month. Ultimately, just like a positive ending, and everything's happy. So I think you'll actually reach this accomplishment by the end of the month as your key goal. And then we got our therapy section, as I like to say. This is things to avoid, things to embrace, where to find support, and advice and encouragement. So let's take a look. So the thing to avoid, kind of funny, because considering you are my mother, the Empress is the mother. It's all about nurturing. It's all about fostering a creative idea, which is really interesting in context of this Ace of Wands being in your obstacle standpoint, and kind of warning you that like there's gonna be issues with this like new creative venture. The Empress is telling you to avoid maybe starting on a creative project. Also, it is about mothering. It's a card about nurturing and mothering. It can be telling you to avoid your mother. It can be telling you to avoid being a mother. So maybe if I come asking you for help sometime this month, say no. I don't know. Let me get a little bit more concrete with this. When this card appears in a reading, it's time to create. Your environment offers you abundance. Be sure to nourish yourself, indulge your senses. Connecting with creative people will enhance your creative spirit. Yeah, the fact that this is in the slot to avoid, as well as the Ace of Wands being like creative opportunity, new creative project being in the obstacle. Yeah, I don't know what you're planning, Mom, but like creative project, maybe not the best time for it. No investing in live screamers. Hey now. If I come to you needing $70,000, I promise we'll make money. That's at least my pitch I'm going with for the people that I am asking money to. I'll actually have to text you about that, Mom. I have some news on that front. Hopefully I'll have some concrete news by the time I do OPMU on November 1st. We'll see. But yeah, so yeah, interesting. Avoid. It's really saying like, it's not the time to create. It's not the time for a new project. And actually, now that I think about it, in context of the rest of this reading, that makes sense, doesn't it? Because we're starting at like this emotional low point, and the goals and accomplishments for the month are very much on like renewal, healing, getting to the other side of something, optimism, a new day. And if you really think about it, the worst time to create is when you're not feeling well. There's this theory of like, the starving artist or like the depressed artist, and we really romanticize that. But I find it's so much easier to create, and I make my best work when I'm in a really good headspace and a really good emotional space, and I'm not burnt out, and I'm not like overly emotional and negative. And so, yeah, I actually think that kind of makes sense. Why maybe now isn't the best time for creative projects if you are trying to get over some burnout, trying to get over through like a mild depression of some kind. If you're trying to figure out, your life in other ways, if you're bogged down by multitasking, as the Two of Pentacles suggests. Yeah, I think that works. Then what to embrace? The Wheel of Fortune. This is pretty obvious. The Wheel of Fortune is all about change. How the Wheel of Time is always turning. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but nothing is ever permanent. So I think that just falls right in line with the Star and the Ten of Cups as well. That you might be in some less fun times right now, but just embrace the fact that this too shall pass, and this will get better in time. Even if it's just a matter of time passing and waiting it out, things will get better and the stars will be right for something that you want to do eventually. It's not the time for a new project. Can you lend me $70,000? Actually, technically, I don't. Well, anyway. I legit asked my dad. I was like, hey, if this investor situation doesn't work out, I can give you some financials to invest. I don't know. I don't know if my parents would support. I got the numbers though. I can make it happen. It's a worthwhile venture. I've proved that I can make movies, right? It's not like I'm green. I'm 10 movies deep at this point. Where to find support? The Two of Swords. I think this might be the one that's either... think this one's the one about choice. Swords is a very, like, intellectual card. When the Two of Swords appears, you're putting off making a decision for now. You might be feeling ambivalence or uncertainty, or offend or hurt someone involved. It may represent the need for withdrawal in order to contemplate your options. Be rational in making a decision. This card may indicate you need to know more facts before you can make an informed decision. Could also be indicating that you're ignoring your emotions, using logic to deny how you are feeling. You might be denying the truth or compartmentalizing some aspect of your life in order to not deal with it. While it may be true that ignorance is bliss, ignorance or denial can also cause you to remain stuck in circular thinking and emotional patterns. This is indecision and impartial, mediator, etc. Where to find support? Interesting. So I'm gonna dig into divination today for this as well, just to get some clarity. Two of Swords. Because I'm not sure if I should interpret this as find support in somebody who is a mediator, find support in somebody who can help you be impartial, or where to find support, you know, in the patience with yourself of making a decision. Represents a stalemate, yeah. Let's see. Feelings. That's more about relationships. Future. Has the Two of Swords land into the outcome? You may have a fallout. Business and career. Competitors. It's about competitors. Interesting. The Two of Swords indicates that an individual may have the same amount of strengths and weaknesses as you, but in different ways. If you're young, you might do well because you know how to think like the young. However, your competitor might have experience with that you do not have, and be older. Yes or no? Do they like me? Am I pregnant? Am I gonna reconcile with my ex? Let's say positive strength or advantage. That might be where to find support. The Two of Swords means that you and another person might be well matched, you're both on the same level. Can also mean that your inability to back down from a challenge is an advantage. You're not going to roll over and let people intimidate you. So I could see that as far as sort of where to find support and being stubborn and being the sort of person who doesn't roll over and cave to, you know, other people's BS very easily. So that could be where to find support. I would say I might come back to that with the advice and encouragement and just and try to read it with the context of everything else, because that one's a little mystifying right now. It could mean a few different things, and I don't want to nail that down quite yet. And then we got the Five of Pentacles. Fives are usually not particularly fun, so advice and encouragement for that is also a little strange. Size of Swords. I actually have been drawing it quite a lot lately. Or not Five of Swords, Five of Pentacles. What am I doing? I don't think you have any other fives, though. You have a 10, a 2, another 10. 10s mean completion of a stage. So having two tens is... And the Wheel of Fortune is also 10, see? So we have a big theme of completion of a stage right here. 3 different cards that are all in the 10 slot. And then you have the Ace, which is opportunity. It seems like there's a lot of just major change going on. Big shift in energy, big shift in your life. So the Five of Pentacles can have good or bad meanings. It's a card of poverty in financial readings. But in a positive aspect, because this is all about advice, it can mean that you have people to help you through a negative situation. You'll remain loyal to each other regardless of financial pressure. Could be a positive when a financial disaster is a blessing in disguise. Sometimes people make mistakes when they have financial means to do so. A painful event may lead to bigger and better things. So maybe, yeah, interesting. Five of Pentacles in Galaxy Tarot. Oh, okay. So this is, they are standing outside of the church impoverished. So, Five of Pentacles, because fives are kind of like not positive, very bad, and Pentacles are about wealth. This is when your sense of security is threatened. The lesson to be learned is that you aren't alone. Times of need are when we reach out to others and pursue spiritual practices. These social and spiritual connections are indispensable in allowing us to persevere through hard times. Pay attention to the wealth that you have or that is readily available for the asking. That is in the advice and encouragement. So I think that one's pretty obvious, actually. If there's some sort of financial situation that's stressing you out, or if there's some sort of situation where you feel trapped because of finances, like in a job that you don't really care for, or in some kind of, like if, my mother runs a nonprofit convention called Octomicon, which is very difficult to make profit because it's a non-profit sci-fi convention. Asking for help is okay. It's okay to ask for help. So I give her that $70K and now I'm broke. See, this is me asking for help. Me being like, hey mom, I need money. $70K. Hey, if each of my parents pitch in 35, then we're good, right? But no, so this is basically what this is saying in the advice and encouragement slot is to ask for help if you need it, and don't be too proud to beg. Don't be ashamed of that. Going back to the Two of Swords, because this is in the where to find support column, which is very odd again, about indecision, not even about indecision in terms of being flaky, but indecision in I don't have all the information I need yet, and I don't want to make a decision yet. Honestly, considering that we have a lot of, hey, don't start a creative project right now, lots of things representing big changes, big shifts in life, trying to get over a period of like emotional slump and trying to get to like a better mental state. Decision's probably not the thing to make right now. Probably holding a fast is a good place to find support, and just sort of trying to collect more information before you make any sort of decisions, particularly career or financial. So, Christy says, I always find that if I get stuck on something I'm working on in a bad headspace, I just get angry at everyone and myself. Yeah, it doesn't really progress much, in my opinion. I think that you really need to wait. When I wrote the Live Screamers script in late September, and then finished it like early October, sent it to some friends. And so ultimately, this is a 100-page script that I did 2 drafts of, that I did a first draft of, then edited and got, good enough to send to people in a period of like 10 days. And I was talking to Chris actually about it, because he was one of the people who read it, and he was just like, I can't believe you did this in 2 weeks. And I was like, but I did it in like 8 months. Like you don't see the 8 months of like work that goes, the outlining and the thinking and the, for me, the stars have to be right for me to write a script. Like I have to be able to see it fully formed, and then I can sit down and write it. And then, I'm not the type of person who's like, let me just meander and write this script and just see what comes out no matter my headspace. It's like, no, I'm like that Road to El Dorado gift. It's just like, the stars, they're not right, not yet. Stars are bad. So I very much am an advocate for waiting for the stars to be right. And so this was at the bottom of the, months and months of planning system. She knows. The mods know. They've heard me talking about this for like a year and a half. Crowdfund Octopunk's Live Screamers financing. Hey, don't joke, Becky Helene. We might be crowdfunding Live Screamers next year. It may or may not happen. Well, fingers crossed, good vibes for this next week for me, because it all comes down to this. This is the bottom of my mom's deck, which means it's the card that she's avoiding. The feeling that she's pushing down the most and not wanting to look at. It's the World card, which is another card that's very much major arcana about change. Let me get a little bit more specific information on this, because this is one I actually haven't studied quite yet in detail. But the World card represents beginnings and endings. You have learnt the lessons from your current phase of life. It's time to move on. This can mean victory or graduation, or moving beyond thoughts of your personal quest and bigger thoughts of what you can offer the earth. Completion of a stage. So, in context of everything else we've just been through, and everything else that we've seen about change, about putting off decisions, about, delaying creative projects until you're in the right headspace, the thing that's being buried down and most not, wanting to look at is the idea that you're done. The idea that, yes, it's okay to move on. It's okay to let go of something that is no longer serving you. There might be some attachment there. There might be emotional attachment there. There might be financial attachment there. But ultimately, if deep down there's this voice in your head that's saying, this has served me already and I don't need it anymore, it is okay to let go and to finally look at that and address it. So there we go. That is my mother's reading. Hopefully that was good for you, Mom. I actually, despite that being my own mother, I have no idea what that reading was about. There's a couple things in it for me. I know that she's been applying to jobs, sort of ambiently, but that's kind of all I know in terms of what that could have been about. So I really don't know what that all might be referring to. She'll have to DM me later and tell me, because I don't know if that resonated or if she's kind of like, I don't know what this is about at all. Maybe she didn't put her magic in it. I don't know. Alright, so I'm gonna do a Streamchat giveaway really quick. If you would like to be read live on stream right now, say pick me in the chat, all in a row, right in the Streamchat, and I will do the old blind point and try to find somebody who hasn't been read before. So go ahead and give me a pick me. All the good vibes to Octomom, I agree, Simona. Let's give it a nice shuffle. Oh, come on, don't all give me it all at once. Possible job change, I don't know either. Yeah, that was kind of what I thought, Mom, but I don't know. There's some like other creative projects like that you might, I'm curious if there's like something else that you've kind of wanted to do but you haven't gotten around to yet. Austin says pick them. Yeah, Austin got read last month. Last time I did this. I wanted, actually Greg is in town, and I thought if he didn't have errands today, I would have brought Greg over to do it. But I might do Greg next month, even digitally. That could be fun. And then maybe in December I'll do, or maybe in January, because I don't think I'm gonna do these in December, but maybe in January I'll do a year spread for somebody, do their whole year, because I love year spreads, they're really fun. I got, I'm not gonna like show it off because if they're not sponsoring me, then I'm not gonna do free advertising for them really, but I got this tarot planner called the Ritual Planner, and it is daily, weekly, monthly, and moon phase tarot spread layout planner things. It's really fun. I've been using the pages for like October 2021 lately, and it's been pretty on point. It gets me in the practice of doing a 3-card spread every day, a 1-card pull every week, which typically I'd actually do a 7-card pull every week, so that's a little different than normal, but it's been really fun to see what I've been coming up with. Okay. Let's see. Wanted to do book cover designs, but nothing has come from it. Okay. Let's pick. I ended up on Christy Sudharsana. Ah, I recognize Christy from all my streams. Well, Christy, it's your lucky day. Tell me which card stack goes where, and I will start your reading. A Craig reading would be interesting. I'd be very curious, because Greg's another one that, like, obviously I talk to Greg, like, almost every day, but I don't actually know a whole lot about, like, what's going on in his internal world. So it would be interesting to be like, oh, you didn't even tell me about any of these things. I could actually do a rather cold reading on Greg, despite the fact that we know each other so well. And he actually texted me today and was like, my coffee maker broke. What does the tarot say about that? Left to right and then to middle. Left to right and then to middle. Okay. Hopefully I shuffled these enough. You never know. If I feel like if I get like all the same cards as last time, I probably will do another shuffle, to be honest. Just because that would be my bad. And I would not trust those cards. Okay. Ooh, interesting. Okay. 7 Pentacles, 5-1. Okay, so far so good. 8 of Swords. The Fool. I've been pulling the Fool a lot this week. Queen of Cups. 10 of Cups again. Okay. 10 of Swords again. 4 of Cups. And Judgment. Okay, a very different reading than my mother. And a lot of roughness, I'll say. There's a lot in here that is a little hard. Sorry. But the outcomes seem pretty positive. So, you know what? We're just gonna start. So, Christy is somebody I do not know at all. So this is a complete cold reading. Just gonna do my best to interpret based on the cards, and we'll see if it resonates with them. Should have done a sound cleansing on the cards. Austin is very into runes and sound cleansing and Catholic magic and angel runes and things, which is really awesome. Very different than anything that I do, though. You're gonna have to do like some sound cleansing on my cards if you want it. If you want to, Austin, the next time we see each other, next time you're home. All right. So current self, 7 of Pentacles. So I always get these a little, the 7s, in general, because the 7 of Wands is also like this, and so is the 8 of Wands to an extent. All these cards are kind of like working in silence, like moving in silence, like I'm working on something really hard. I'm not really feeling like I'm making progress yet, but I've been kind of diligent. And in this case, the 7 of Pentacles is a time of pause and assessment. What are your goals? Are you still directing your action towards them, or have you been sidetracked? Have you been in a similar situation before? And if so, what did you do then? What could you have done better? If things are not working out the way you want them to, now is the time to look at what you can change. You're making progress, but you might need to readjust. It may also be that someone is evaluating your work at this time. Try to learn from criticism without getting overwhelmed by negative feedback. You are not failing, you're learning. So it's about trial and error, about patience, assessment, editing. So there's a couple different things that this card can mean. Usually when I get the 7 of Pentacles, like I did a couple weeks ago, it means that my work is literally being given to my friends for feedback, and that I, literally am in a stance of, my work is being evaluated. I'm about to take some constructive criticism. Somebody's editing my stuff, whatever. So it could be that. And schoolwork can also apply to this, like if somebody's editing a paper for you or something. But just broadly speaking, it means that the current self, because this is the slot, the current self, is in a period of like, what do I want to do with my life? And this could be career, it could be relationships, it could be anything in your life. You could just sort of be feeling stuck in this stance of, it's not negative, but it is just a period of like, hold the phone. Am I going in the direction that I want to go? Do I need to make some changes? Again, this could also be mental health, it could be physical health, it could be really anything. And I'm not going to really know because I don't know you, especially because I haven't gotten to the other cards yet. But just broadly speaking, this is like the current self is in a stance of asking, what am I doing? And is what I'm doing serving me? And just sort of reevaluating your life in a stance. The 5 of Wands, like I said, the 5 is about, it's pretty negative in all of the suits, and the 5 of Wands is about conflict, and this is the monthly theme. Now, the 5 of Wands isn't necessarily a bad thing, because when we talk about conflict, the traditional drawing of the Rider-Waite is all these guys with wands like fighting each other with sticks. It's like a field day at middle school. And you know, that's conflict, but it can also mean competition. So in terms of, you know, we're talking like monthly theme, this could be friendly competition. This could be a competitor inspiring you to get things done, like kind of space race it, where like you're motivated by the concept of competition. Or it could just be conflict. It could just be a lot of arguments with people, a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of hot heads and tempers, and that could be the theme as well. So particularly if we're in a stance where you're either getting constructive feedback or you're giving yourself constructive feedback and asking what needs to stay in my life and what needs to go, having a monthly theme of conflict kind of makes sense, because either you could butt heads with the people that you're getting feedback from, or you could butt heads with the people who you might need to be telling no longer serve you in your life. Or the people you need to say, hey, things need to change, or I'm changing. Anytime there's change, there's going to be people who don't like it, and that could result in some competition and some conflict. I'm just going to check to make sure that all that I just said is right. I'm pretty sure it is, though. I know the Five of Swords. I just pulled the Five of Wands like 3 days ago. I pulled it in a very weird slot, though. In teamwork and relationships, it's inevitable to have difference of opinions. These differences should be treasured. It is from them that new ideas and interesting compromises emerge. So, yeah, again, like, you know, feedback, teamwork gives feedback, embrace new opinions. Interesting. I don't know, again, if this is just like a project or if this is just kind of life, but these cards do go together pretty nicely. Petty hassles and annoyances, that could also be in the monthly theme. So, just a warning for the month ahead. Then, we've got the key goal being the Eight of Swords, the Fool being the obstacle, and the Queen of Cups being the outcome. Eight of Swords, odd card for key goal. Because the Eight of Swords is about limiting beliefs. The Eight of Swords is represented by somebody who is blindfolded, but their feet are unbound, meaning that their vision is obscured. They cannot see the way forward, but their feet are unbound and free to go. That the only thing that's stopping them from moving forward is their own perception. So Lion actually, you know, captured the essence of the original card art very well here. Eight of Swords being a very, very strange card for key goal. It could very well be the most obvious answer is the correct one, and the key goal is to get over those limiting beliefs, to get over the idea that you have to be a certain person or know a certain thing or be a certain amount of competency to move forward with what you want to do. But let me look a little bit more into this in terms of like the positive outcome, just to make sure that there's not something that I'm missing. Ask yourself what you get out of remaining stuck and what you could gain if you were to move forward. Often, all that is needed to get unstuck is the courage to think in a new way. And if the monthly theme is a lot of people, you know, piping up with new ideas, new perspectives, maybe that is the thing that you need to get unstuck. Let's look at Divination today to see what they have to say about the positive aspects of Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords. Positive. Strength or advantage can predict that you do not make any rash decisions. You like to stop yourself and think things through before committing to a plan of action. I don't really vibe with that. I think in terms of key goal, like getting over limiting beliefs, that's really what I'm vibing with, and that seems to be in keeping with everything else when we're talking about new perspectives. The Fool is the obstacle. So the Fool is a positive card. It doesn't seem like it because it is, you know, it is called the Fool. However, it is positive in the sense that it's about new beginnings. It's about the excitement of youth, the excitement of ignorant bliss. Because it's in the obstacle slot, I'm basically going to give you the interpretation of it that I would give if it were upside down, if it were reversed. And that is that you've got the Fool, and he's got the Rose, which means hope and optimism. He's got, stars, which also mean hope and optimism. This also has a meaning that I've forgotten. But here's the thing. He's on the edge of a cliff, and he's about to walk right off of it. And so even though he's hopeful, and even though he is, young and has a lot of energy, it's very possible that if you don't look where you're going, you may fall. And so the obstacle here would be to make sure that you're not rushing into things, that you're not making those rash decisions. Which, I guess is what we saw with the Eight of Swords goal as well, so that the goal is to not make rash decisions, so I can also see that interpretation for the Eight of Swords. So just be mindful in the obstacle that some of these new ideas, some of these new perspectives, some of these new concepts you may be coming together for when we talk about, where am I going? Am I doing the right thing? Feedback, criticism, all that sort of stuff. Consider it all carefully, and don't rush into any new way of being things just because it's an exciting new idea. Filter it through your own perception and make sure it really serves you. And then the Queen of Cups is our outcome. I'm definitely going to have to look up Divination Tarot for this because queens and kings and all of these royalty cards are very difficult to interpret with the Galaxy Tarot app. It's kind of unhelpful. So the Queen of Cups, and the cups represent emotion. Queen of Cups is an outcome. When the Queen of Cups appears as a positive strength or advantage, means you're a very loyal person. You don't give up on people you love and will stand by them at all costs. You have other people's best interest at heart, and you try to be a good person. So that's positive. But what about future? Future, here we go. If the Queen of Cups appears in an outcome position, this can mean that you will meet a female with her qualities in the future who will assist you in some way. Sometimes the Queen of Cups in the future can mean destiny is in the situation of this person's hands, but it could also represent yourself. If you are not happy in a relationship now and don't feel very loving, the Queen of Cups will pop up in the future to represent the fact that you'll become more sympathetic towards your partner or find somebody new. Broadly, the Queen of Cups is all about a loyal female with a strong intuition. Sympathetic, empathetic, could be a sister or mother figure in life. Always considers other individuals and puts others above herself no matter what they did or didn't do. The Queen of Cups sees their side and gives them compassion and empathy. So this is the outcome. Queen of Cups. Let's go back to Galaxy Tarot and see if there's a little bit more elucidation that I can make, because I'm starting to get a feeling about it. But let me see if I can pull this together a little bit better. Queen of Cups. Mature, sensitive, romantic person, empathetic, soothing, kind listener, counselor, psychic, artistic and visionary, gives a lot to others, may require solitude to restore herself, listening to higher self, and receptive to messages from others. Okay, so I think that's your outcome, because when we talk about empathy, seeing other people's perspectives and filtering other people's input definitely requires empathy. It definitely requires you being able to look at other people's perspectives and see how they serve you and understand their point of view. And I think when we talk about getting over limiting beliefs and trying to, having this friendly competition and this teamwork and being at a crossroads, the outcome being, hey, you're going to filter through these opportunities with ease and grace. You're going to be able to understand other people's perspectives. It doesn't mean that you have to take their advice. It doesn't mean that you have to incorporate everybody's ideas. But the fact is, you'll be able to understand where everybody else is coming from and understand everybody else's motivations, regardless of what's happening in your life. And then we have the therapy section. Ten of Cups is a great, a great card to be in things to avoid, because that's all about celebration and joyous family. So thing to avoid. What an interesting card. Definitely pulling up divination for negative meanings on this, because I'm super curious. Maybe, usually when this appears in like an obstacle slot, I interpret it as mean, be wary of your family. Like, maybe your family's not the people to go to. Okay, that makes sense. So, in keeping with the Seven of Pentacles, which is current self, which is asking, what am I doing and why? When the Ten of Cups appears as a, an obstacle or in a negative aspect, this means you have spent too much focus on maybe achieving the idyllic life. You have to ask yourself if this is the life you really want, or do you want it because society has told you that you have to have it. I love that interpretation. So it's not really so much about like avoiding your family, literally, but avoiding society's idea of what is the way to live. And yeah, I that's elucidating actually, because when we look at the Seven of Pentacles, that current self, that sort of crossroads of like, am I doing the right thing? Is this what I really want? Like, what do I need to change about my life to be happy? That being in the thing to avoid standpoint says a lot, because it's like, okay, maybe this is an aspect of self that I do only want because society says that I want it or that I should have it. And maybe that's something that I should be avoiding. And just generally speaking, always avoid what society tells you to be. Follow your own destiny, even when it's hard. Thing to embrace, Ten of Swords. This was in my mom's current self, which represented, hey, you're in rock bottom, you're in an emotional low point. When Ten of Swords appears in the slot for thing to embrace, what I and it has before for several people actually, it means this too shall pass. It very much means like, you're at the bottom, it can't get lower, things will only get better from here. And whatever you're going through emotionally, like, embrace the fact that this is going to cause positive change in the long run. Very similar to the Wheel of Fortune, which is what she ended up with in this slot. But in this case, it's kind of like Wheel of Fortune is sort of like, if you're having good times right now, remember that there will be bad times, save accordingly, etc. If you're having bad times, remember eventually it'll get good. This is more like, nah, if you're in rock bottom, this can only be for the positive, because it's only going to go up from here, and these negative things that you might be feeling will make way for positive change. That reading made me just think I may have bossed too close to the sun. I don't get it, Maggie Elaine, I'm too old. Four of Cups. This is in the where to find support. The Four of Cups is all about rest, I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. You see that kaiju, he drank too much and now he's drunk. He's passed out. He had too much wine. The Four of Cups indicates withdrawal from an emotional situation. It could be voluntary or involuntary, such as finding yourself tired of a situation, lacking the emotional resources to continue. The answers and inspiration you need to go on are available around you, though. Be sure that you do not become so absorbed in apathy that you do not see the opportunities available. If you have taken out time to contemplate your situation, pay close attention to your dreams and subtle signs. Sometimes there's need to withdraw, but don't get stuck. Take the time you need to rest and contemplate what has come before. Where to find support is in the concept of taking a moment and thinking about your life. There is a theme here. And again, with the Five of Wands, remember that there are people around you who can help and give input, the new perspectives. Where to find support is in new perspectives and in taking some time out to think. Taking some time out to rest, to withdraw, to really consider everything. And then the advice card is Judgment. Judgment is a very good card. It's all about how the truth's going to catch up with liars and cheaters and everything will be fair in the end. So in the advice, it just sort of means like, have faith in the truth. Your current phase of life is coming to an end. Look objectively at what has come before. In what ways did you succeed? Where did you fail? What big lessons have you learned? Life cannot stay as it is. Change is unavoidable. Be accountable for your choices and honest with yourself. So actually, this is not the equality card. Justice was the card I was thinking of. Justice was liars. We'll be caught up with. Judgment is about judging yourself, judging and reviewing and taking the rite of passage of what has come before and being honest with yourself about where you're going to go next. Tune into your higher calling to learn where to go next. Pay attention to the big ideas you have now. So, wow, what a period of transition Christy seems to be in. Again, I do not know them at all. I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. But essentially, what all these cards are screaming is that you are in a big transition stage, a big crossroads, and if you tune into your higher self, if you get a tarot reading, for instance, and if you accept new perspectives, but make sure that you're filtering them through your own point of view, and through not society's point of view, but making sure that they serve you, that can be very helpful. Even if sometimes they're hard to hear, even if sometimes maybe it's not what you want to hear, and maybe it's going to feel like a criticism, take a step back and you know, consider it, and consider that, okay, maybe they have a point, even if it's not what you want to hear, but be sure that you're being true to yourself. Ultimately, the advice is, you know, just look to the back, look to the present, look forward, and see where you want to go. And then, we could not have a more fitting card for the bottom of the deck. The thing that you don't want to look at is the moon. The moon is the card of hidden thoughts. You are hiding something from the world, or somebody is hiding something from you. But I think in keeping with the rest of this deck, or the rest of this spread, there's something that you're not telling people. There's some hidden aspect. Let's see. Now's the time to pay attention to your intuition. What are your deepest feelings about the current situation? What are you most afraid of? Sometimes the most profound growth is found in facing our deepest fears. You're hiding something from others. Go within to seek better understanding before taking action. It might be wise to keep some things hidden for now, but when you come out on the other end, whatever is hidden will be revealed, particularly because this is this transition stage of, you know, trying to maybe go against society's views, trying to serve yourself regardless of what other people think, trying to figure out what you want out of life, whether it be personal, career, money, love, health, or creative, whatever it is, or maybe a combination of all those things. This aspect of yourself that you're hiding, it's the thing that is really driving, I think, all of this other transition and all of this other spread, because this is the thing that's buried that we're not wanting to look at. So, a very easy spread, honestly. That was very unmysterious, very unenigmatic, pretty straightforward. Hopefully that served you well, Christy. I hope you got something out of that. And thanks for coming to the stream. I see you in pretty much everything I ever stream, so I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you coming out. And I appreciate all of the people who came out today and participated in the stream chat, or just watched, and maybe all the people who watch on VOD later. I'll be doing one more tarot stream of the year next month in November before I go on December hiatus for our Saturday streams. So I might bring on Greg or somebody else fun, and we'll do another guest star tarot stream. As far as, oh, Chrissy said, I'm sorry I didn't say anything through the reading. I'm just making sure I paid attention to everything you were saying. Okay, no problem. You don't have to say anything. I hope it wasn't completely wrong. That's the only thing, is like, I'm always worried about, like, oh, they're gonna get nothing out of that. It always works out in the end. Everybody's always like, oh my god, I resonate so great with that. It's like, whew, okay, it's still magic, great. Because every time I do it, I kind of doubt. I have that, like, oh man, like, this is a cold reading. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if this means anything. I'm just reading the cards. I don't know this person. I don't know, am I magic? A lot really hit home. Okay, that's good to know. That gives me confidence. That makes me feel great. But yeah, so next week on the channel at noon, we are going to be doing another episode of Breakout Roles, or Tabletop RPG. We're going to be doing Seaman's which is a bunch of pirates sitting around on a ship at night, telling all the tall tales about all the sea monsters that they've seen. I don't know who's going to be joining me for that yet. I could think of some fun friends that could join me on that we could have a really good time. But either way, that's going to be here at noon. Also, big news for this week. October 27th, Wednesday, our new short film, Fame Patel, is coming to Patreon. This is a 20-minute long gay horror comedy short about a gay actor who's been pushed too hard by rejection in Hollywood and finally snaps at a horror convention. It is a super fun film that was directed by me. It's my first directorial effort since Seven Deadly Sins has been on the channel. And it was written by Michael James Daly, its lead, and myself. It's really fun. If you liked Seven Deadly Sins, I think you're going to like it a lot. It's very much a spiritual successor. It's a 90s vaporwave spiritual successor to Seven Deadly Sins. Very similar aesthetic and sense of humor. And I hope you really like that. That is coming out on Wednesday for all patrons, $1 and up. So just for $1, you can see Fame Fatale. You can also go into the backlist and see What a Beautiful Wedding, which is Michael Smallwood's horror film that came out in September. So if you haven't gotten on Patreon yet, you can see 2 new short films that just came out and are exclusive to Patreon. Will only be on the film festival circuit for the next year. It's the only place you can see them. Also, you heard it here first, but On the Road Again, which was our horror film from last October, directed by Michael Whaley, starring Maximilian Koger and Michael Smallwood, will be coming to YouTube for everybody on October 31st, on Halloween. We finally got some distribution details on the road again, so now we know that we have the all clear to post it on YouTube. So really excited to finally share that with you guys. If you're not on Patreon, you haven't been able to see that yet, so you'll finally be able to see it on YouTube and share it with your friends and everything. It'll be public. It's a 3-minute long or 4-minute long horror short. It's really short, but it's a fun little spoopy movie for Halloween, and I hope you really like it. So look forward to that on the channel next weekend. That'll be going live on Sunday, October 31st on Halloween. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for